Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Gasha. But before we talk about it, we just want to remind you to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Gasha is designed by Jason Levine. The artwork is by Christine Alikoff and Miguel Coimbra, and it is published by 25th Century Games.
In this game, you're basically, you know, remember going to the skating rink when you were a kid, putting a quarter in those machines and like getting those like little trinkets, little weird little guys from those.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Do you want to hear something hilarious?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a true story. We went to a bowling alley for like one of my birthdays, right? And our daughter was 1.5 years. Do you remember this? And they had this machine where you could get ducks out of it. And you're supposed to put money in the machine. But for some reason, it was like broken. And she got like 10 ducks.
Those little kind of like rubber duckies.
Those little ducks. So she just kept coming back because she was going there with Ryan's little sister. And she just kept coming back with like more ducks. We're like, where are you getting these ducks? It's because the machine was broken, so she just kept getting all these little. Do you remember that?
I do now that you mention it. Okay, so that's basically what you're doing. You are going up to one of those coin machines. You are putting in coins. You are getting back these little toys, these little crazy little keychains and these toys and things like that out of one of those machines. And it's basically a set collection thing. So you're trying to acquire all these different toys, and then you're trying to match up to a set to cash them in for points. It's super fast, super pretty art. Let me show you how to play. All right, here is our setup. We have 4 equal piles of all of our different cards. Those are going to be the cards that we're going to be trying to obtain in order to fulfill our set rewards cards over here. On your turn, you'll be able to do one of 2 things. You can either grab 2 of the cards, or you can fulfill one of the objectives. On the back of the cards, there's kind of a probability. Like this one, for instance, there's a 50% chance that you'll get a radish, 50% chance that you'll get that Kitsu. And similarly, over here, there's a 33% chance you'll get any one of those 3 symbols. So if you're trying to fulfill an objective, like say, like this one here that has 2 of those robots on the back of the cards, you're going to want to draw cards that have those on the back. So for instance, we draw this one. It does have a robot. That's fantastic. Let's do this one as well. This one does not. That's all right. So it's going to be in our hand now. Every player is going to start with a hand of 4 cards as well. And once you have a few cards in your hand, you can do things like this. You can cash in, let's say, 3 of those Kitsune cards for that card that says 3 equal cards. It's going to give you 7 points. Oh, but you know what? Over here, there's a 12-point card that's really nice. This one says you need to turn in a 3 of a kind and a 2 of a kind. Well, let's see if we can draw another one of those cards and see if we can get what we need. So on our next turn, we'd be able to cash in those 3 of a kind and those 2 of a kind cards in order to get this card over here. And it's going to replenish as well. On the bottom of some of those objectives, there are these little colored tickets. There's 3 different colors. There is red, yellow, and blue. And there's also multicolored ones like over here that act like a wild. Whenever you acquire a pair of those ticket cards, you're going to be able to grab one of these tokens. Those tokens are all kinds of special abilities. Maybe some extra resources, maybe some extra points into the game, maybe you get to take an extra turn. However, if you can get those cards to match, let's say you get that yellow card and then a wild card over there that you can use as a yellow, then not only do you get to take one of the tokens as before, but also you also get to take one of the cards down here, which is really nice. That's really all there is to the game. You're going to be drafting the cards down below and then cashing them in to fulfill these orders up at the top row. The game is going to end once one of 3 things happens. Either all of the tokens that you have out here have been taken, or the set rewards pile is empty, the objective pile over there, or there's a small chance that being able to make 4 of these piles is impossible. At that point, the game ends as well. When the game end is triggered, every other player is going to get 1 more turn. And after that, we're going to count up all of our points. We're going to have points from these objectives. Sometimes we have points from these tokens. And then also, every leftover token you have, or every leftover card you have, is going to be worth 1 extra point. Add up all those points, and whoever has the most points wins the game.
Ryan mentioned it in the introduction, but I thought the artwork on this was absolutely adorable. I just thought it was so cute and very evocative of what the theme was. I really, really liked that, and all the little keychains. And there's only what, like 4 or 5 different ones that you're trying to go for in different collections, but they're just so adorable. Like, I would be tempted if I saw this in a machine to try and put my quarters in there to get one out because it was that cute.
I liked how the cards had the probabilities of what you were going to get. Sometimes you're going to draw a pile, you're just kind of just fishing for stuff, hoping you get it eventually. This gave you 4 different options. There was 4 decks that you could choose from, and on the back, giving you all the probabilities of what you might find on the other side of that card. So if you're really needing the robots or the radishes or whatever the case is, and you see one, you're going to dig for that one specifically, kind of more targeted. It's still a little bit of random, but it's a targeted kind of random. You have a probability. Especially if you're like, well, if you need sets for something, you had 3 of a kind or something, or whatever the case is, it's much easier to try to dig for something if you know what your odds are.
I also really liked that the cards that you're trying to fulfill have those tickets on it. And so you can just like, you know, get tickets and you don't have to match anything if you don't want to. But if you match it, then you get an additional card. And so it gave you more of a direction to go instead of just trying to pair things together, like trying to get something to come out so you could match it like that. And I tried to do that every game, and it was really fun to do and really simple, and it was just like a little thing to go for. Like, you could ignore it if you wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah, I definitely was trying different strategies too. You could try to kind of save up for the bigger cards. You try to quickly go, you know, cash in just for the quick pairs, or you could try to do with Bethany's targeted, you know, trying to figure out those match up with those different tickets. And so there's different kind of paths that you can go. They're all viable. You can even mix and match, obviously. Yeah. But the point is, you're always progressing. You're always something that you can do to make your turns go better, either drawing cards or you're cashing in. So I felt like you always had an opportunity to gain points or progress your game.
This was an adorable set collection and a cute little package. I liked it. It was cute. If you like set collections, I would definitely give this a chance if you get a chance to check it out.
When we first were setting it up, I was thinking to myself, this feels a lot like Point Salad.
Yes,
which is one of our favorite games. Yeah. So, we love Point Salad. So it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, I was like, oh, is it just a knockoff of Point Salad? No, it gives you similar mechanisms. Either draw 2 of these or cash in one of those. Yeah. Which, you know, feels like Point Salad. But actually, at the end of the game, we're like, no, that was different. That was a different game. It definitely had a familiarity as far as what you could do with your turns, but how the game worked, it was very different, and I enjoyed them both. Yeah. This was just a cute game, a small box, a small amount of components, and it made you feel like you were getting a fun set collection game just out of a small box and small amount of components.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you liked, if you enjoyed what you watched, consider giving us a tip or buying us a cup of coffee over at Ko-Fi. There's a link down below. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.